Welcome students. Today we shall be starting with our chapter of carbohydrates. So let us first know what are carbohydrates. As I had written, these are life's sweet molecules, and here you can see various types of food products: rice, bread, noodles, pasta, potato, onions. They all are majorly composed of carbohydrates. And on the right side you can see the carbohydrates cycle. The energy obtained from sun is converted in the form of carbohydrates by the process of photosynthesis. This energy is utilized by various animals in the form of respiration, and again the water and carbon dioxide released are being used by plants to regenerate the carbohydrates. The equation mentioned here is for the production of carbohydrates. Now this is the general formula of carbohydrates. So now let us understand in detail the concept of carbohydrates and what are its various types. First of all, what are carbohydrates? The carbohydrates are the most abundant organic molecules in nature. Now these are most abundant organic molecules. Why organic? You will know as we proceed. The carbohydrates, here I had split the term into two, carbo and hydrates, means the hydrates of carbon. Hydrates refers mainly to water and carbon to its elemental form. Also known as saccharides, which means sugars. Now why saccharides or saccharides, and why are sugars? Because they have sweet taste. Another property, they are sweet in taste. Carbohydrates, now definition, this is the definition. What are carbohydrates? The carbohydrates are defined as polyhydroxyaldehydes or polyhydroxyketones or compounds which produce them in hydrolysis. Now let us understand the definition. What are carbohydrates? These are either polyhydroxyaldehydes. As we all know, aldehyde group is mentioned as this, or these are polyhydroxyketones. What is the ketone group? C double bond O. Why polyhydroxy? Polyhydroxy means they contain many number of OH groups, or the compounds which produce them on hydrolysis, or any of the compounds which on hydrolysis produce this water. Hydrolysis means the reaction in presence of water or reaction with water. Now these carbohydrates are composed of mainly three elements, carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Now three main elements are carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, but sometimes they also constitute sulfur, nitrogen and phosphorus. So it was in brief about what are carbohydrates. Now their important features: they act as storehouse of chemical energy. These are storehouses, storage form. Now what are the various storage forms? These are glucose, starch and glycogen. Glucose, starch and glycogen. Glycogen is mainly storage form of carbohydrate in animals, and are the components of supportive structures in plants. Now what are these supportive structures? Cellulose, crustacean cells such as chitin, and connective tissue in animals such as acidic polysaccharides, and are essential components of nucleic acids, D-ribose and 2-deoxyribose. D-ribose in case of RNA, it helps to form the sugar backbone. and deoxyribose in case of DNA. Now, the other features are carbohydrates make up about 3/4 of the dry weight of plants, but in animals it is less than 1%. So, it is having 3/4 composition of dry weight of plants, mainly present in form of cellulose and starch, but in animals it is less than 1%. General molecular formula we can see CnH2nOn. Now, we can write the formula for glucose C6H12O6. C, if this is N, this is 2N, this is again N. Now, several non-carbohydrate compounds such as, these are non-carbohydrate compounds, make it clear these are non-carbohydrate compounds I am mentioning. Several non-carbohydrate compounds such as acetic acid C2H4O2 and lactic acid also appear as hydrates of carbon, but some genuine carbohydrates such as rhamnohexose and deoxyribose does not satisfy the general formula. They does not comply with the formula of CnH2nOn. They does not comply. See here. So, it is not a restriction. The general molecular formula is not a restriction. Classification. The carbohydrates are generally classified on the basis of sugar units present in them. Number 1, these are monosaccharides having only a single sugar unit. Example are glucose, fructose. Other example can be galactose. The next disaccharide is having 2 sugar units. These are the carbohydrates which are having 2 sugar units. Example is sucrose. We can also write maltose. Then comes oligosaccharides. They contain 3 to 10 units. 3 to 10. And example is maltotriose or raffinose. Now, what are polysaccharides? These contain n number of units, or we can say simply more than 10. The word poly means many. These are of two types, homoglycans and heteroglycans. What are homoglycans? Homoglycans are which are having same repeating units. For example, in case of starch and glycogen. But heteroglycans such as glycosaminoglycans, also known as GAGs, these or GAGs, these are also having repeating unit but of different composition, different repeating units. So, this was all about the classification of carbohydrates. We will revise them once again. Monosaccharides having single molecule, disaccharides having 2 molecules, oligosaccharides having 3 molecules, and polysaccharides having n number of molecules. Examples for monosaccharides, it is glucose, fructose, galactose. For disaccharides, it is sucrose, maltose. For oligosaccharides, it is maltotriose and raffinose, and for polysaccharides, these are of two types, homoglycans and heteroglycans. In homoglycans, the examples are starch and cellulose having same repeating units, and for heteroglycans, these are glycosaminoglycans which are having different repeating units. We will discuss them in detail in further classes. Now, let us first understand the concept of monosaccharides. What are monosaccharides? Carbohydrates that cannot be hydrolyzed into simpler sugars or simpler carbohydrates are known as monosaccharides. Means they contain single unit of sugar. Here is the chemical reaction. For example, if we hydrolyze the sucrose, sucrose is a disaccharide, in presence of an acid or any enzyme, it generally splits up into two monosaccharides. These are two monosaccharides, glucose and fructose or fructose, two monosaccharides. Structure and nomenclature, they satisfy the general formula of CnH2n. See the case of glucose, C6H12O6, with one of the carbons being carbonyl group and of either an aldehyde or a ketone, either of an aldehyde or an ketone. Now carbonyl group is having C double bond O. It may be aldehyde or it may be a ketone. You can see a carbonyl group is present in both of them. The most common monosaccharides have 3 to 8 carbon atoms. The common existing monosaccharides in nature are having number of carbon from 3 to 8. The suffix of ose indicates that a molecule is a carbohydrate. Suffix means if at the end the word ose is written, it indicates it as a molecule of carbohydrate, and the prefixes of tri, tetra, pent and so forth indicate the number of carbon atoms in the chain, such as triose means a monosaccharide containing 3 carbon atom, tetrose containing 4 carbon atom, pentose containing 5 carbon atom. Monosaccharides containing an aldehyde group are classified as aldoses. So the monosaccharides containing an aldehyde group are classified as aldoses. Those containing a ketone group are classified as ketoses. So aldoses and ketoses are further groups of monosaccharides. Let us understand what are these aldoses and ketoses. So here is a classification of monosaccharides mentioned once again. See, the monosaccharides further classified on the basis of functional group and number of carbon atoms in their structure. Now what are these aldoses and ketoses? On the basis of number of carbon atoms. See here, trioses, tetroses, pentoses, hexoses and heptoses. On the basis of functional group aldehyde, see aldehyde, or a ketone, for a ketone functional group. For aldehyde it is aldotriose, aldotetrose, aldopentose, aldohexose and aldoheptose. For ketose it is ketotriose, ketotetrose, ketopentose, ketohexose and ketoheptose. Now how is an aldehyde and ketone group different? Let us understand their structures first. Now what is the structural aspect of monosaccharide? What are the structural aspects of monosaccharides? Before studying their structural aspects, let us first understand what are various aldoses and ketoses. Now various kinds of aldoses here. These are the structure of aldoses. See the examples: allose, altrose, glucose, mannose, gulose, idose, galactose and talose. So these are various types of aldoses. Hope you can see their structures. Now let us understand the structural aspects, the structural components of monosaccharides. To understand the structural aspects of monosaccharides, we must first understand the concept of stereoisomerism. What is stereoisomerism? It is a form of isomerism in which the compounds having the same structural formula but differing in the spatial configuration as known as stereoisomers. The structural formula remains the same, but the spatial configuration is different. The asymmetric carbon or a chiral carbon is responsible for this. What is a chiral carbon? Chiral carbon is a carbon to which all the 4 groups attached are different. Now this is referred to as a chiral carbon. The number of asymmetric carbon atom, which is denoted by N, determines the possible isomers of the compound, which is equal to 2 raised to power n. It is generally referred as this 2 raised to power n. For example, the glucose contains 4 asymmetric carbon. The number of asymmetric carbon in glucose is 4. So how many stereoisomers are total? The stereoisomers will be 16. A total of 16 stereoisomers will be there. The reference molecule is glyceraldehyde. All monosaccharides can be considered as molecules derived from glyceraldehyde by successive addition of carbon atoms. It is a 3 carbon atom compound. Now here are the D and L isomers, which are mirror images of each other. First we will understand what are D and L isomers. The D refers to dextrorotatory and L refers to levorotatory. The spatial orientation of hydrogen and hydroxide groups. Now what is this spatial? If we understand the 3-dimensional structure of glyceraldehyde, we can see that there is a spatial orientation of hydrogen and hydroxide groups around the 5th carbon atom, adjacent to the terminal primary alcohol carbon atom. Carbon determines whether the sugar is D or L isomer. If the OH group is on the right side, now remember this, if the OH group is on right side, then the compound is D isomer, and if the OH group is on the left side, then it is L isomer. For L isomer, the OH group is on left side. This remains the same in the case of glucose around the 5th carbon. See here, around the 5th carbon, for the 5th carbon. Now let us draw the structure of glucose first. Glucose contains 6 carbon atoms. On the first carbon atom lies the carbonyl group or aldehyde. Then comes hydroxide and hydrogen groups. As mentioned in the figure, you can see, draw it along on your notebooks so that you can understand the concept. Why I had left this carbon alone? Because here we are writing it with a different color so that you can understand the structure here. Now this refers to the D isomer. D isomer. What if this hydroxide goes to the left hand side? What if this goes to the left hand side? Just see, if this goes to left hand side, the structure totally changes. The structure becomes the L isomer of glucose. The structure becomes the L isomer of glucose. Now this is known as stereoisomerism, change in the configuration at the 5th carbon atom. It will become not D but L isomer. Now these are the stereoisomers of glucose. Now here we can see the various hexose sugars containing the aldehyde group. Just see for the reference the structure of glucose here. The arrangement is differing on the 5th carbon with this OH. Now this is glucose. Now what is difference in case of mannose? In case of mannose, the structural difference lies on the second carbon. Here you can see the OH group is shifting from left side to from right side to the left side. It is also a stereoisomer. It is D-mannose. If the configurational change occurs, for example, we can say if this change occurs on the third carbon, if it occurs on the third carbon, see here, it will become allose. For second carbon it becomes mannose, for third carbon it becomes allose. This is another stereoisomer, and other examples are also given: altrose, gulose, iodose, galactose and talose. Now what is the difference between galactose and glucose? The configurational change occurs at fourth carbon atom. So these are various types of stereoisomers of glucose. Now we shall be understanding the concept of ketohexosis. Ketose. See here the structure of fructose. Fructose is a 6 carbon atom containing carbohydrate in which the carbonyl group is at second position, and it is a ketone group. It is a ketone group. Now fructose, as fructose there are also psychose, sorbose and tagatose. Now what is the change in case of psychose? See here, the third carbon, the OH groups shifts to the right side, whereas it is on the left side in case of fructose. Now in case of sorbose, what is the difference? See here, the difference is on the both third and fourth carbon. In case of tagatose, the difference is on only and only fourth carbon. So these are various stereoisomers and other examples of ketohexosis. Now we shall understand the concept of optical activity in the next class. Till then, revise the topic of carbohydrates. You must be familiar with various types of carbohydrates, their classification, their general features, and also the idea of stereoisomers. So students, in the next class we shall be understanding the aspects of optical activity or optical isomerism, and here we will also learn about mutarotation aspects also. Till then, revise the topic and refer to the textbook for more content.